Illinois took a 5-point halftime lead and extended it, turned it into a bit of a blowout down the stretch against Xavier in this one, winning 86-73. Cart. They got dare I say a legacy performance from Will Riley. I thought he was tremendous in this one, knocking down off the dribble threes, that logo three down the stretch, playing good defense. Pretty much everything you'd want to see out of this Illini squad in their first tournament game of the season. But yeah, what'd you see out of this matchup that led to the Illinois win?
Yeah, I think it was a very balanced attack from the starters, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people, at least coming into the season, they talked about how Illinois was like, the deepest Illinois team, the most talented Illinois team, and that really hasn't come to fruition. But if you're going to get
Mhm.
all five starters playing this way, you really don't have to worry about other things. And you pointed out the 5-point halftime lead. I do think that the Illini were able to wear on Xavier a little bit in this game. Xavier had just played a really tough nose game to get to this point in the playing game against Texas, coming back down from 13 points. And I think it wore on them a little bit in this game. But yeah, Will Riley might have lottery dreams in mind. He might have a green room invite in mind because he's been playing incredible lately. I said on the preview of this game that I think like Will Riley is their best player. Like it used to be
Mhm.
Casparis, but Will Riley is now their best player. And that actually might be good for Illinois that he's their best player because Casparis can do the Casparis thing. Now, did Casparis have the turnovers? Yes. Did he necessarily shoot the ball well? No. But he filled up the stat sheet. He was
Mhm.
one rebound shy of a triple double?
Yeah,
Yeah,
16, 9, and 10 tonight.
you'll take that. He
Well,
got to the free throw line, made all his free throws. I like the shot dive from Illinois in this basketball game. They took 33-point attempts, but like you can tell what good 3-point attempts look like when you watch Illinois. Because like sometimes just like, oh, we're not getting much. Okay, I'll shoot a three. Like, why not?
uh-huh.
Silly little three. But they were moving the basketball, they were moving it around. The Kasparis was doing everything, orchestrating things, even with the turnovers. The 10 assists, I think, really pointed out to what he was able to do.
Yeah.
Big T gives you a double double in this basketball game, kind of asserts his will against Fremantle and the Xavier front court. All in all, like a very balanced, business-like approach from Illinois' starting five in this game. And I think, there were some, even if people don't admit it, I think there was a little bit of like coming into this one, oh, you're playing that 11 seed. Like there's always that team that plays in the playing game and makes
Yep.
their way to like the second weekend or wins a game when they get in the field. And I honestly, I never actually felt like Xavier was going to win this basketball game with all due respect. I just thought that Illinois starting five was too balanced and too good.
Yeah, Illinois did a good job of keeping them at an arm's length throughout the whole game before really turning on the gas. And to your point about Will Riley, I think since he entered the starting lineup 6 games ago, he's averaging 18 points per game in that stretch compared to I think he's at 12 and a half on the season, just to fully emphasize like how well he's been playing. And it's little things too, Car. I don't know if you noticed this. It's not just like, the step back threes. Of course, those are great when they're going in. But there was a play down the stretch where Illinois is up 14. It's under 9 minutes to go in the game. Merez Johnson misses a layup but gets fouled. Riley is soaring in for the putback, and I mean he goes above the rim to put it in, and of course they didn't count. They wave it off because they called the foul on Merez before Will Riley makes that play. But it's those types of like little detail hustle plays that I would say should give a lot of hope to Illini fans that, for going into the year, and we've seen this play out throughout the year for Will Riley. He's known as like a tough shot maker. He's, 6'8" with this offensive arsenal, a bit of a bag, so to speak, can get his own shot. But to see him buy in and do some of these little things, it's only gonna, I don't know, it's only gonna just further raise this team's ceiling. And I would say as a whole, it's almost like the only thing I can say is it passes the eye test with how connected they looked in this one. Like I thought Kylan Boswell when it was him pushing the tempo and running the offense, it didn't feel like it was a okay, like Kasparis has been rocking out. Now it's my turn to touch the rock. It seemed like everything flowed within the game and within like just guys playing together and having good chemistry. And for me as someone, I'm not as in tune with the Illini fan base as you are, but this was a squad that I bought all the way back into, or excuse me, bought all the way into in early January. That Oregon game, I was like, this is my favorite team to watch in the country. I love the way they move the ball. I love the way they push tempo. And of course, since then, it's been like constant up and down to where finally, though, you're looking at an Illinois team that since that Duke loss when they were allegedly sick, and I'm going to run with that. I got your back on this Illini faithful. They're 5-1. They're 5-1, and their offense has been just on an absolute tear in every game except that Maryland one. Like they're scoring 1 point. They've scored over 1.2 points per possession in every game outside of the Maryland one, and we know that Maryland has one of the six best defenses in the country. Just a really good sign to show that like hopefully some of those issues that plague them are behind them.
Right. And look, another thing that really impressed me about this game too is that, the Illini, when they play this lineup where Will Riley's in and you have Big T, you have Trey White, who I tell the story like if this Illini team goes somewhere, there needs to be a Trey White story that goes, from DMP to MVP or something like that. Because I think he's been really good. Now that he didn't necessarily have like the 3-point barrage that he necessarily has, but for him to play 29 minutes, good defense, contribute a little bit scoring, had rebounding like he always does. I think it just
Mhm.
makes this Illinois team a little bit more dangerous. And also on the same token, I think that, and I don't know what it is, but this Illini team needs to kind of realize too that they are one of the bigger teams in the country when they play this lineup, right? Like
Mhm.
for them to get dominated like they did in the Big Ten tournament against Maryland with how good Maryland shot, I think that this team needs to be aggressive. They need to stay out of foul trouble, especially Big T, because you see what Big T can do when he's on the floor. You get a double double, and you get a guy that can hit threes. He goes 4 or 9 from three in this basketball game.
Mhm.
It's a weapon when he's stretching the floor. It really ups the ceiling of this Illini team. But they have a bunch of guys who are 6'3" and up. Like Boswell's the
Right.
shortest player at 6'3", and then you have Trey White, and all those guys are 6'5" and up. And that kind of pointed to why they were able to dominate the glass in this game. They had 45 rebounds to Xavier's 25, and they doubled them up
Ooh.
on the offensive glass as well with 10-5. So they dominated the glass. They were physical and they were efficient offensively. And I think that's the formula for the Illini. Now, bigger picture, it's about replicating this. And we have
Mhm.
seen this before. You
Mhm.
buy back in, then they kind of revert back to their old ways. How much faith do you have in this Illini team to kind of roll with this and keep this going?
Okay, let me think. If I was at a 10 on January 2nd after watching them dismantle Oregon on the road, I'm probably at like a 5 still.
Hmm.
Ugh, I want to be nicer than that, but like, well, I mean, they beat Michigan and Purdue in this stretch. Like, those are two really good wins. One of them was on the road where they just like completely obliterated the Wolverines at that one. To where I'm like, it's not like they were just whooping up. Like, it wasn't. I get Iowa was two of those five wins, but those other three ones are really impressive. I'm more concerned about the defensive side of the ball. Just I love looking at Torvik's metric that tracks the last 10 games and efficiency, and their offense has been soaring since then. They're top 15, top 12 in the country, but the defense is still like sub 100. And I was curious what you saw in this one, if there was anything like Xavier's percentages were good. I thought they really stalled out in the second half though, to where like they shot 43. I guess that wasn't even that stalling out. They only shot 22% from three in the second half, which would really ended up being the difference. And I thought they frustrated Zach Freemantle, who had been hitting some garbage for like the better part of like the past 2 weeks.
Hmm.
But was there that to me is like what would get me over the edge if I can see a little more like connectedness on that end. Did you think Illinois did anything like specific on defense to frustrate Xavier in that second half, or was it more so just poor execution by the Musketeers, guys missing shots, or maybe a little of both?
I think it's a good mixture of both. I don't want to completely not give Illinois credit, but I do think Xavier did
Yeah.
let down this basketball game a little bit. But credit to them, though. They were able to limit Conwell, limit Freemantle and his
Hmm.
garbage. Obviously, that led to Dalen Swain having a really good game in this one. But, outside of that, that's the one thing that's always going to hold me back. And I give credit the steps that this Illini team has made with this new lineup and offensively. It's just defensively, I get scared, especially if, guys like Big T get in foul trouble. It seems that this team can wilt at any moment. But look, if they don't wilt, you get a really good product. But at the same time, as giving Illinois credit, I do think that you got to bring up that Xavier did seem to have a little bit of tired legs in the second half to me,
Yeah. Yeah.
which Illinois took advantage of, and they deserve credit for that. But, obviously, looking ahead, we'll have the preview on this channel. They got a team coming in that offensively is, one of the better offensive teams in the country. Within they have some weapons and they run some good stuff. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup.
Yeah, that's well said, Cart. And we will have that full preview up. It should be one that's hopefully characterized by fireworks. Would love to see Illinois continue this heater they've been on and see an up-tempo, high possession game that maybe gets into the 90s against Kentucky. Both teams have good positional size that I think it can create, honestly, mismatches for each other. So looking forward to breaking that one down with you as well. So make sure you stay tuned to the Sleepers Media YouTube channel. We're giving you all the coverage that you need for March Madness.
It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.